Hey, it's Clive. Welcome back to my channel. This is To Be a Bonsai. So today we're going to be working on this Joburg gold. This Joburg gold has been very neglected over the years, and unfortunately yesterday my client brought me this tree and the pot had broken. So today we're going to be slip potting this Joburg gold and giving it a little bit of a haircut. So, because this tree has been out of its pot, the client just brought it to me like this. It's looking a bit dry and sad. So what I'm going to just start doing is just misting the outer layer of the soil just to keep it nice and moist, just to not stress the tree out too much. So I'm literally just spraying a bit of water as I work on the tree. So if it's a very, very hot day, you can obviously do this more often as you go work on the tree. Perfect. So now what I want to start doing is cleaning up some of the dead bits of branches inside the tree. So I'm just going to come in here and I can see some that I'm going to just start trimming away. This tree is almost the size of me. So I don't know if you can see me over there. Cool. So I'm just going to trim all of this away. So you can see all these dead little branches that have died off. They're not going to come back at all. And how you can tell that a branch is dead is if you snap it and there's no flexibility in it, then you can see that one's just snapped right off. So you can see it's nice and dry and it's completely dead. So I'm just going to trim off these few over here. And there we are. Now I'm going to work on the other parts of the tree. Cool. So you can see over here is quite a big branch that is, it's not looking too great. Most of it's died off and it's growing completely downwards. So I'm just going to trim that right off over there. Boom. Get that out of the way. And I'm just going to start cleaning up all of this dead stuff within the tree. You can see over here is another one. You see it just snapped right off. So you can see that it's completely gone brittle and died off. So I'm not trying to make the tree look pretty in today's episode. All I want to do is make the tree super healthy and happy. So I'm really not overthinking what I do or what I prune. So over here, when the tree fell over and it broke its pot, you can see these two branches have broken off completely. So they are very flimsy, and over there you can see they've just cracked over there. So there's no point in keeping these broken branches. We're just going to have to recreate the tree. So I'm going to come in and I'm just going to trim off these branches over here, just like that. And now you can see I've trimmed it, but there's two shoots over here. So eventually these are going to get a lot stronger and we can use these as the new leaders once the tree's a lot happier. So something the client asked me, and he said, it's grown and it's leaning all the way over the pot, and that's potentially why it might have fallen off the ledge and broken. So in bonsai you get many different styles, and this would be what you call a slanting style. So you can see how the tree is completely slanting to one side, but obviously when we pot it up we can make it go a lot more upright. We can change the angle of the tree, but I do quite like the slanting style to this tree. Something that I think will help improve it is just putting a bit of wire. So we wire the tree down to the new pot so that it's a little bit harder for it to fall out again. But I do like the slanting style of it. So when we style it, we could potentially style it into like a literati style. So let's see how we go throughout the process. Cool, so this is the pot we're going to be putting it back into. So it's just a plastic pot. There's no point in spending too much money on something very expensive when you're still developing the tree. So all we're really going to be doing is slip potting this tree into the new training pot. And the reason why I'm slip potting this tree now is because we're going into autumn. So it would be silly to do a full repot on the tree now. So we'll just get it into its pot, let it settle over the winter, and then we can reestablish in springtime. Cool, so you can see over here, I've got the training pot. I've put some wire through the holes so I can tie the tree down to the pot. This I just bought from a local plastic shop, and I drilled some holes in, so you really don't need to stress about buying something expensive. Like I said, you can just get a really cheap plastic pot to develop your trees in. So in my previous episode, I go through what slip potting is. So what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be taking away some of the soil on the edges, just like this, just to kind of untangle some of these roots. Let me use my right hand, and I'm just under the tree here, starting to just take a bit of that soil around those roots. Twist the tree around. And I really don't want to do too much to the roots because I don't want to stress the tree out anymore. It's already been through a lot. Cool, and then if you want, you can also just turn the tree over to the side like this, and we can just untangle some of the roots at the bottom. Over here, you can see how the old wire and mesh is still in the pot, so we want to get rid of that. And I'm literally just loosening a bit. I'm not doing too much. And there you have it. Now it's perfect to go into its new pot. So I'm going to grab the pot over here. Make sure your wire is out of the way, so you can just push it over the lip like this. Cool, so now I'm just going to start by adding some of my soil to the bottom. So remember, the soil at the bottom will determine the height the tree sits in the pot. So you can see over here, it's nicely in that pot. I'm just going to wiggle it onto that soil, just like this. Perfect. Cool. So now what I want to do is I want to put this wire over the base of the tree just to tie it in nicely. We also obviously want to try hide the wire as much as possible just to make it look a little bit more natural. So now I want to try and tie this tree down. You can see over here is a root that's died off. There's actually quite a few roots that have dried up and died off. So we can just break them off if we want. If you notice any as we go. Perfect. So I'm going to tie these two down together through there. Just going to twist it around each other. And now I'm going to take my pliers or my gin pliers, and I'm just going to twist it so that it makes it nice and sturdy in the pot. Cool, so now you can see how it doesn't want to come out of that pot at all. I'm going to push this through over here. twist it around. Once it's nice and secure to the pot, you can see how it won't lean as much over. And obviously when there's soil in here, it will hold it under the bottom over there. Cool, so I'm just gonna start adding some soil around the edges. Cool, now I can take my chopstick and I'm just gonna work in that soil, in between all those air pockets. So at this point, you should be nice and sweaty with really dirty hands, and it's just gonna make you feel so good. Restoring a nice, beautiful tree, and now we just need to give it a nice bit of water, and after I've watered it, I'm gonna go put it in the shade for about a week, just to let it really hydrate and let the roots settle into the new pot. And like I said, you know, this isn't the ideal pot for this tree, but it's something we're just going to be using for now, and then later on we'll change the pot over time. So here we go, I'm just going to give it a bit of water. You can see while I do this, the water goes right through the soil. So I'm sure a lot of you are wondering how much water, when should I water, why do I water? But stay tuned, because next week's episode will be all about watering your bonsai. Cool, so I'm just gonna now water the top of the tree. We wanna hydrate the whole tree, just like this. Normally I would use a hose to water my trees, but this is quite fun. And I'll come in and water it one last time. Just like that. That was rescuing this Joburg gold. So if you're ever in an instance like this and you really need to repot it, rather just do slip potting, because it's a lot less stressful for the tree. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and check me on Instagram at @tobeabonsai. I'll see you all next week.